I'm Janelle. I'm an artist, mostly an oil painter, but I like to get out in the wilderness and do some sketching. I've been using a little bit of watercolors. Today we're going to sort of a secret little place, a pond that is pretty close to my house. So I hope you enjoy this. Let's get going. This morning, I'm taking you to a trail that's not really a trail. It's more of a route through just the woods and some muskeg. Yeah, not very many people know about this little route, but it leads to a very charming spot. I am at the North Tongass Volunteer Fire Department training field. There's two of them. This is where we will start the cars on fire, put the fires out for training, cut the cars apart to practice for car wrecks where people need to be extricated. And here is the trail head. It's a bit rough. It starts right over here. We'll make our way there. It's not a very long walk, but it's a bit rough, as you can see. So let's get started. This is another muskeg area. I'll put a card up here on top for another sketching video that I did in a really large muskeg area that's a little farther from my house. They're very beautiful and charming. They are very squishy though, and kind of a pain to walk in. All right, let's keep heading to our destination. All right, we've sighted our destination. We call this Coast Guard Pond because it edges U.S. Coast Guard property. It's really nice to walk here when it's completely frozen over because the route to get around this pond is very swampy at this time of year. Quite a bit of beaver sign here. Ate all this bark and a fairly fresh tree gnaw, I guess you would say. There's a little swamp over here that I know they're working on. There's an older tree that the beavers took down. And then we have to cross this maze. Chihuahua figured it out. So this little swampy area is a favorite of newts and beavers, some birds. It's a very small area, but kind of charming. when my daughter was little, we used to come here and look for newts in these little areas. The pond lilies are about to bloom. There's one down there that already is blooming. A tree falls down and then the roots serve as a nurse log for other trees and plants. And then these little areas under here make nice breeding grounds for our newts. They're the California rough-skinned newt. They have orange bellies. Oh, this is deep. Gotta watch out for this. My boots are only so high. This little island here sometimes serves as a nesting spot for Canada geese. And that little tiny island out there too. This moss here, we call this death moss because we've learned the hard way. Where this grows, the water is very deep and you will sink into it. So we've learned not to step on that. So we'll go up and around and we've made it. So little bunchberry flowers. This is Labrador tea. This will bloom white in a little while. You can brew these leaves into tea. This is salal. This is an evergreen. Grows all up and down the west coast of the States. And it'll get blackish purple berries in the very late summer, more September probably. And they're really sweet, but they're kind of pulpy, so people don't love them. And this is a little beauty called bog rosemary. And this is not edible. That will make you sick. But they are very beautiful. Probably take a picture of that, maybe paint those later. The collies always remember where we last played ball and had our tea. So they are waiting for me. Let's get started with our sketching. Using some Arches rough watercolor paper. Looks like the no-see-ums are out. We don't have many mosquitoes here, but the no-see-ums are very active. Okay, so I think I'll include this little, here's my view of the little island. Two tiny little islands over there, which I can't really differentiate. There's another island there, and quite a few birds' nests there. Got this angle wrong here, it's much flatter. Get the personality of these trees, just barely sketched in. It's a cedar. Its branches tend to go up like that. And then there's a bunch of little tiny scraggly hemlocks. The trees really struggle to grow in these muskegs. It's very wet, very cold, and the muskeg has very few nutrients in it because it's just rotting vegetation. It has no oxygen in it. It's just this deep layer of vegetation rotting away with anaerobic bacteria, so the trees really struggle, so they get these interesting kind of almost bonsai tree looking shapes. A bunch of distant trees. It might be a challenge to get these layers looking, layers and layers and layers of trees here. And these little spikes of dead cedars. The cedars do tend to struggle to grow here sometimes in some places, especially the muskegs. So they'll end up with these bare spikes. We have red cedars and yellow cedars. Bug. Probably gonna get home with some bug bites. The natives used to, Native Alaskans, the Tlinkits, used to dig up those roots of the pond lilies, and they would eat them. Apparently they're a little bit like rice. Got my little paint set. I have sort of the basics in. I don't know how I can, looks like I got some tea on my water area here. Not sure the best way to denote those lilies. I'll just get the big shapes in there. All right, let's get some of those greens in back here. Start with this kind of light green. A little bit of sun out today for the first time in a while. It's kind of giving those trees a very yellowy appearance. Put a little cooler green down at the bottom here. And a little more yellowy green up here at the top. It's pretty dark back here. And these island trees go over the front, so I'm gonna I hear bugs everywhere. There's some kind of cooler, more distant trees back here. Let's get this guy in there. I just have to check where my colors are. They're hard to see what colors these are. These little keys aren't very useful. The sky is a little bluer than it usually is today. Finally, the weather has been terrible. We had a very cold, extremely wet May. Broke records with the rain. It was getting very tiresome. Having problems running out of water. decided to add a little bit more pen in because I lost quite a bit of definition with my paint. Part of it was that I ran out of water and I was using pond water, but that's just kind of an end plein air challenge. These little islands back here needed more definition. So did this little island. So just trying to sort of define the edges a little more. Not exactly trying to make a masterpiece while I'm being eaten by bugs. The dogs want the ball to be thrown. There's a lot going on. It's pretty dark back here. A lot of these areas are pretty dark. See the spikes of these dead cedars up here. So a couple look like not cedars. This one here might be a dead, or well, struggling Sitka spruce right here. So just trying to get a little more definition in there. It's a fun challenge though. Definitely good for training the eye, building the skills, learning how watercolor behaves. Especially this little cheapy set. It's not exactly, the pigments aren't very consistent. The purple is really powerful. The yellows tend to fade. Thanks for joining me. I hope you get a chance to get outside and paint and draw. It's so peaceful, and it's great to be out in nature. It's inspiring for my creativity. I think it's great for all of us to just listen to the birds, and to, if you can find a spot that's this quiet and peaceful, it's just wonderful for your spirit. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to see some of my other outdoor Alaska vlogs, here's a playlist up here. Stay creative and have fun.